Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Okay.
again for jumping on the Toddcast here in Vancouver. Where did you grow up, by the way?
Here in Los Angeles. So I
Oh,
was
nice.
actually I was actually born in Mississippi, and then when I was about two, my mom and my stepdad, he was a Marine. We moved to Southern California, and we just stayed.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask you is just because of the path that you've gone down, like two very creative paths, and I'm just wondering, like, actress or singer, which came first for you?
I would say they came around the same time when I was in high school. I was I was always like in advanced classes, so I ran out of classes to take. I went to Inglewood High School in Los Angeles County, and the principal put me in band. Like she just didn't ask me; she just was like, "Okay, you're gonna be in music and band." I'm like, "Okay." She was like, "You need another elective. I don't know what to tell you." So
Right, so you've got her to thank then, at least.
yeah, yeah. So I was under the direction of Conrad Hutchinson, who his father, who was also named Conrad Hutchinson, he I don't know if you ever heard of like Battle of the Bands and how in the South the HBCUs like they do like this whole big thing with bands where they march, they play all types of music from jazz to hip hop. His dad was the band director at Grambling State. So he used to show us all these videos of how he wanted us to do what they were doing because a lot of bands in the LA area, they were just walking. Like they would just walk. He called them walking bands. He's like, no, we're not walking bands. We're a marching band. So that just kind of, it's almost like theater because you incorporate music with dance because you would like the drum leaders and section leaders, like they would do back bends, flips. Like it would be like it's a whole show. So
Yeah, like
that's
a
what
legit
really got me into
show.
music. Yeah, and I had already started listening to music more than TV anyways because it was around that time that we only had one TV in the household and it broke. Like it just stopped working. So my mom was like, "Look, I can't afford to replace it right now." So we just pulled out the radio and we never did replace it. Just got to the point where it was like, "Okay, I prefer music over watching TV anyways." So at that point, we didn't need it. And
Okay.
then the acting came in literally around the same time. I was always going up to the library, and we had this magazine called Backstage Magazine, where it was just industry news and everything. And like the librarians used to sneak me a copy of the magazines because they knew like I really wanted to be in entertainment. And I flipped to the back; they had classifieds, and I called this number that said it was like, "Hey, this is Tony, and I'm doing an ad. Like, I'm looking for teens for Nickelodeon." I was like, okay. So we called. He asked to speak with my mom, of course. And then the next thing you know, like, we were on Nickelodeon on Sunset, like the studio I used to always pass by, and it was crazy. So everything happened at once.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you've been a creative pretty much your whole life then.
Yeah, pretty much my whole life. And
Yeah.
then after moving to Southern Mississippi, about an hour from New Orleans, I thought everything was over. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna be in entertainment. But little did I know that at that time, New Orleans was the third largest market for film after LA and New York.
It's bumping. Crazy. And it's okay, so let's get into the each world then. So like as a kid, which bands were you being influenced and kind of growing up around then?
Not really bands. Our band played rap music. We played the hottest rap music that was out. Like he would take the music, write it down, make it into sheet music, and yeah. Um, some of my favorite rappers was, of course, I grew up in the West Coast. Dr. Dre, Corrupt, a lot of West Coast rappers. Young Roscoe. Like I'll go to Mississippi and I'll tell people like, "Oh, did you listen to Corrupt growing up?" And they weren't too familiar with it, but I knew like the songs word for word. I
Yeah.
would rap it along with the radio. And also, we listened to some jazz music too. My mom was big into jazz, so she would just kind of play it in the background. And my mom's the type, even to today, she'll always play classical music in the background. Like when we're driving somewhere or going somewhere,
Mm,
there's classical music playing in the background.
yeah. That's cool. So it's a music house as well. Um,
Yeah.
so like did you, as you're in that, in your early years, like, did you ever in a million years believe that Dre would get to how far and how big he got?
Yeah.
He's one of the biggest celebrities and wealthiest men on the planet.
Yeah, Dre and then Snoop House, he's able to get into different rooms. Like he is like one of the most versatile people I know.
Insane. Snoop just actually came up and did a halftime performance for a CFL game, a football game up here in Vancouver at the BC Lions. And like charismatic doesn't even begin to describe how insane and incredible he is. It's truly awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I knew right away. I was like, yeah, that's talent.
sure, hell yeah. And what was the first concert that you went to?
So the first concert that I went to, let me think. I don't know if you would consider it a concert, but the first, because my mom didn't have like a whole lot of money to do a lot of extra things growing up. All that money she put into like my dance and whatever tennis lessons and things like that. I went to the Teen Choice Awards. And I guess you can consider it like the first concert because they always have like live performances. But that me and my
Sure.
friend went, got like they let up to 4 people go. So my mom, of course, had to go. And then like I brought 2 friends with me and we were just losing our minds. And then Ice Cube had got on and he had I don't know if he won an award or he was just like presenting one, but we were just going crazy. We're like, oh my God, Ice Cube. Because like growing up in the South LA area,
Sure.
like he was one of the people that we definitely looked up to in terms of music.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, like that had to been a mind blower for you being at those
Yeah.
awards. Like everybody wanted to be there.
Hmm.
That's so cool. Okay, and then so into the film side, what was the stuff that you were watching that was kind of getting you influenced in that way? Was there certain actors or actresses or just movies in general that you're like, yeah, this is it?
Full House.
Full House. Okay.
When I was seeing like the reruns of Full House growing up, I'm like, Mom, why am I not a kid actor? Like, I don't understand.
Right.
It was that when watching older The Cosby Show
Yes, of
with
course.
Raven Simone, just seeing like other little children being successful. And I'm like, I literally do the same thing because honestly, I don't know why I felt this way, but growing up, I always felt like there was a camera following me. I felt like weird things, like crazy things always happen to me, just like things people will never believe. And I'm like, there has to be a camera. Like it has to be somebody pranking me or something. Like I used to watch like the little prank things on my MTV. I'm like, it has to be somebody here.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I just always felt like my life, like, or I at some point would be in the public eye.
yeah. It's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy at that point, you know? And so,
Yeah.
so to the Nickelodeon part, like when you started doing some stuff with them, did you get a manager?
No, my mom, unfortunately, at the time, did not know a whole lot about the industry. It was on me basically, like researching, going to the library, trying to figure things out, calling. Like I would cold call managers and agents, like, "Hey, do you guys take kids?" They hung up on me a lot because I didn't understand at that time, like certain, like I was calling like CAA, William Morris, like you are not
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to do
Hey,
that.
I'm ready and available. So, yeah,
Yeah, and they're like, "What? Excuse me, no."
that's so great.
So I got hung up on a lot. But no, I didn't get my first agent until I started working in New Orleans more consistently. At a point, I was getting myself booked. Like I would make phone calls, like, "Hey, I see you're casting for someone, with looking like this. I feel like I fit." And in New Orleans, they kind of like they don't frown on that.
Mm,
Like it's not uncommon for talent to call and pitch themselves in the New Orleans market. In LA, New York, that's a no-no. But New Orleans, like, we only had a few casting directors and they pretty much once they see you hustling, doing background work, they'll start bringing you in for speaking roles anyways.
damn,
Some people have gotten upgraded on set. Like they would just like be the guy pouring milk and next thing you know, they got a whole bartender role and now they're SAG
sure.
eligible.
Yeah. And so is it imperative that you get an agent or no?
I would say yes, especially if you're working in the Los Angeles area, but not only any agent, a good agent.
Sure.
One that doesn't have like a million people that kind of look like you, that they're sitting for the same roles. And then you got to make sure that their people are like constantly working. Because I mean, I've been signed in the past where it's just like I'm just sitting on a roster. And I found that I was actually doing more for myself. Like I'll be like, hey, can I get a copy of the breakdowns and everything that you're sending me on? And I was submitting myself for more than what they were. But
Oh
it's
no.
just like, so I do, the next time I get an agent and a manager, I do want to have hopefully one of the top four, top five for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. And so we know you as a creative, you're always making stuff for us, but what do you, when you find time to, hang out, like what are you binge watching lately?
Um, you know what? I really haven't had time to watch much TV. And my issue with watching TV series is like I'll get sad if there's like a cliffhanger at the end, and then sometimes the show isn't renewed. So I'm more of a movie person, and then like the way my ADHD is set up, I can't sit still for too long.
I know, right? It's like
But
an
just
hour,
in
hour in,
general,
hour and a bit in, like, hey, I gotta
yeah,
pause it. I gotta pick this
yeah.
up tomorrow. Like,
And then tomorrow never happens. Like I'll be on something else tomorrow.
sure.
But I love scary movies, comedies. You know what? I miss those 90s teen comedies, like the ones where like, everybody be having a good time. You take dad's car for the weekend and you and your friends go. I miss those type of movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get a little bit older. Like, what, I guess it could be, the 30-year-old buddies going out or whatever, but maybe that's
Yeah.
it. Maybe that's it. Uh, outside of those two things, like, are you a big sports person? Do you like watching sports?
Yeah, I love sports and I love shopping. Those two things kind of like are my two hobbies, but they don't really go together.
Sports and shopping.
Yeah, sports and shopping. I'm a personal shopping shopper and I do styling for other people as well. So
What? Hold on. I was like, personal shopper. What the hell is that?
so basically I get paid to shop for other people.
Come on.
Yeah, like people will be like, "Hey, I love these shoes. I'm busy. I don't have time, but or they'll be sold out in my area. Can you find them?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I'll go to different stores. Like I go to like luxury stores, little department stores, outlets, and then like I'll find things. Like, and then it's crazy because once you start shopping a lot, like the salespeople will know you. So they'll be like, "Hey, we just got these in," or something. They'll go to the back and get you something, and I'll post it on my store. I'm like, look, only one left. If you want it, you got to get it now.
God
So
damn, like, who even knew that existed as a hustle? Like,
yeah,
what?
and it accidentally started. Like I was shopping for myself, and then I would post something like, "Oh my god, this is so cute," and people were like, "Get me one, get me one."
That's so crazy. Like, I don't know. Is that just a girl thing? Does guys do that too?
No,
Like,
I see guys doing it too.
that is literally hitting me out of left field. I had no idea that people actually, I mean, I guess if you thought about it, but like, wow, what a gig.
No, like I saw a few months ago, Gary Vee had posted there was this lady. I don't know if she was in the American market or the Asian market, but she sold like I think it was like $1 million worth of product online doing the shopping. She would only hold it up for a minute. She was like, "Okay, I got this one," and then move on to the next one. People were like, "Okay," like it was crazy.
Wow.
They go
Uh,
live and do it.
and then
Yeah,
the sports. You said you're a sports person. Who's your
yeah.
team? What do you like watching the most?
I mean, come on. Like I grew up in LA, so Lakers for sure.
Of course.
I do show the Clippers some love too. Like I feel like a lot of people don't show them enough love. They are LA. You got to show them some love too. Um,
Can you
growing
remember where
up,
you were when Kobe passed?
yes, I was in Mississippi, and I just kind of like looked at. I was just scrolling down on my timeline, and I just saw people like crying, like, "Oh my God!" Like they had his number and wings. I'm like, "What's going on?" And then like some people were like in disbelief. They're like, no, until like it's absolutely confirmed. And then they were really sad about when they found out his daughter and the other people, the little kids. Like,
Like you don't
yeah,
even want to think it's true, right? Like you
yeah,
just start off with just sheer disbelief that nah,
yeah,
that can't be real. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Do you go to a bunch of games then as well, or
Whenever I can, whenever I find the time. But I'm more into football actually than basketball. But for a while, LA didn't even have a football team. But now it's like 2 blocks away from where I grew up. That's crazy.
no, no way. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's not expensive to go to a NFL game, is it?
No, it's not that expensive.
Yeah,
Like unless you want to just be like we're so far on the floor you can see somebody sweat on their face or
sure.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
otherwise, yeah, like I mean, even just to get in the building for a hockey game, NHL is like fucking $150, per seat. It's like, nah, that's a bit much.
I've been wanting to go to one though. I started watching a couple seasons ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great sport. It's a fast sport.
The team in Florida is one of my favorites. Toronto and I can't think of the name of the team in Florida. I think they're in Jacksonville.
Uh,
But yeah, I actually like hockey.
that's good. Great sport. I mean, it's our national sport, of course. Yeah, I love hockey. Um, back to the movies and stuff and film. I can't remember which director it was. Was it Scorsese that was like, no, the superhero movies doesn't. It's not true cinema. Was that? I think it was Martin Scorsese that
I
said that.
I believe that was
I think it
did
was.
I heard, yeah.
And I just kind of like every time I get a chance to talk to an actor or an actress or whatever, or director, producers, I always ask like what their take was on that. Like, do you think that like too much CGI just shouldn't be truly considered cinema?
I mean, it's a lot of editing and computer and I so I get what that is about. I am kind of an action fan, not as much like it'll come after the other ones,
Sure.
other like horror and all that.
But
But
even like the CGI still takes
yeah,
chops. Like you still have to be good at
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's true. So but you know what? From an actor standpoint, it's not the easiest thing to do because when you're on set and especially for something like Harry Potter or any action thing where you got to act like you just see the world exploded and there's nothing but a green screen or
Right.
someone's just telling you to yeah
Or like the people that are talking to the Hulk that's like,
yeah
you know,
yeah the eye line has to be right and everything so yeah you don't have a lot to work with like if you're doing a scene with another person you guys are feeding off each other you're doing a scene with like a mop or something. Like it's just something just sitting there, and it's just like you gotta act like that's a dragon.
yeah, right?
So that yeah. So I mean, we gotta look at it from an actor's point of view as well.
Yeah,
They're yeah.
yeah.
Everybody can't do that.
No, for sure not. I mean, and I think what it is it's just he's just so old school that he's just like, it doesn't. He's almost like get off my grass. He doesn't
Yeah.
kind of step into that world, and not to put words in his mouth, but hey, obviously, if he wants to come on this podcast, he's more than welcome to. But yeah, I always find that the majority of people like didn't agree with him,
Yeah.
and yeah. Let me hit you with an odd one.
Okay.
I want to talk aliens.
Ooh, I love aliens.
Do you believe they've been here? Do you believe that maybe they even live on Earth?
Yes. I believe they've been here. I believe they live here, and I believe they'll always be here. And it's like sometimes I wonder, are humans like is Earth really where we came from, or is it somewhere else? Like how? I mean, how can I say this? Let me go wait.
I love that I've gotten into a rabbit hole with you, by the way. I love it.
I feel like it's easier for other species to come to Earth than it is for us to go other places because I feel like we're so close minded.
I always find the interesting thing is like when you go and look at the Egyptian pyramids or things that have been in the past that
Mm-hmm.
seem to be far more like vastly advanced than what we have present day.
Mhm.
How did that happen? We just forget how to
Um,
do certain shit.
um, I think as technology started to advance, we just kind of like started shutting down certain parts of our brain because it's like, okay, I don't need to do this, or I don't need to know this. Like, calculators. We didn't always have calculators. Now it's like we don't even
Right?
have to. You just type it in, like, okay, there's the answer. So I feel like we used to use more of our brains,
Sure.
and
You're plugging
we
out
didn't
loud.
really, yeah, and then we didn't really have a whole lot of influence. Like, the Egyptians didn't have anybody else telling them that their beliefs were wrong and that they shouldn't believe like that.
Hmm.
So I just been kind of looking into it. Like, some of my family is of Mayan ancestry,
Hmm.
and I want to go to Tulum, Mexico,
Balloon.
so bad. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to go so bad. I haven't had the chance to go. I've been so busy, but I just want to go look at it and just see the ruins and just like really study and get into it. I don't, as far as I know, I don't have any Egyptian heritage. I do have some East African and West African ancestry, and I wanted to kind of look at because places like Ethiopia, like places that've been around for a while, like older civilizations and stuff like that. You can learn so much from because they keep databases of like what they used to believe in and their old ancient writing and stuff like that. So I just wish I had the time to kind of take a few weeks and just really study it and get into it because I feel like I could learn so much from that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100% agree. It's interesting when you start to dig into the past and, get, I mean, there's positives, there's negatives, it's something that I don't think the majority of us, besides, having to do it in school,
Mm-hmm.
have been forced to learn about it essentially. I don't think the majority of us just don't even really truly think about what you just said, which they should.
Yeah.
They should.
I want to meet an alien. Like I don't I mean, I feel like they say
Maybe you
they come
have.
in peace, right? Yeah.
Maybe you have. Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. Thank you again for taking some time today. It's not necessarily a question. I like to ask my guests this as well because most people have had this happen to them, a near death story where you're like, "Holy, I could have just died there."
Oh, I had a few of them actually.
All right, you start to go through the
Um,
Rolodex like, "Oh yeah, that."
yeah, that's why when I said earlier, a lot of weird things happen. Yeah, I mean, I've been hit by drunk drivers twice,
Come on, hit
and
by drunks?
yeah, hit by once I was in my pickup truck, and he hit it so hard, he hit the cab went and is it the cab the long part the truck what do you call the
The
long
cab.
part the bed
Yeah.
went into the cab.
Oh, I see you're saying, yeah, the
Yeah,
box
it
in the back
yeah
there. Yeah, yeah.
went into and I it wasn't a double, like how some trucks have like four seats, like two in the front, two in the back. No, it was a single, just two, so it and I walked away like I was a little hurt, I was a little like bruised up and stuff like that, and I had to go through like physical therapy, but I walked away without like my life. I walked away with my life. I walked away without losing limbs or anything like that.
Isn't
So,
that insane? Like, think of that. How you walked away from that.
and then I was in another one about 2 years ago. A guy who was trying to get on the interstate and he didn't merge properly, and he hit us like three times. Like he hit us, and he circled around and hit us again. Then I'm like, I'm like, how many times are you gonna hit us?
Oh my
And
God.
he jumped out. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And like, luckily, like people noticed that he was drunk. So when he went to get in his car to leave, somebody got behind him and blocked him in until the police came.
Oh shit.
Because at that point, I still didn't really understand that he was drunk until like I kind of calmed down. I checked on my son, and I'm like, okay, like this man is drunk. Like and then I started like screaming, like you almost killed us. Like yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
So
that's a couple good quick near death stories there for sure. All right, Rosita, hit us with well, this could be the toughest. It could be the easiest question I'll ask you today. But what is your career highlight? If you can nail it down to one thing.
Oh, um, oh, I did a scene with Anthony Mackie in Synchronic.
Cool. And
Yeah.
so you're shaking as you're getting on scene and like walk us
Yes,
through. Like you're talking back and forth before. Like how
yes.
does that work? Like you kind of go back and forth before or no?
No, 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 no. Like I seen him on set. Like they keep you in holding, so you're in your trailer, he's in his, and then when it's time to bring you in the room for the scene, some a runner goes and gets you, and they go get him, and you guys are on the scene together, and it's like, hi, and you introduce you like, and then you kind of it's kind of weird. It's like I know you're Anthony Mackie, but you're like, hi, I'm Anthony, and I'm like, I know. I'm like, oh, Rose, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's great.
so yeah, he was very he's very like, okay, when you're on set, you got to be respected. Like I was trying to ask a question and some people were talking, and he kind of stood on the chair, and he's like, Rose is talking, she's asking a question, we have to respect her, and she is an artist. I'm like, oh, I like that. He was like, you got to respect her time. So I started telling people that when people, I feel like people were disrespecting my time, I said, you have to respect my time.
Right?
And it's
Time is
just like
everything.
learning from him. And yeah, he taught me a lot that day about like actors' choices whenever you're acting, like just certain things you could do, from like moving your head one direction to like, because sometimes as actors we get a little, I don't want to say scared, but we don't want to switch the script too much. We don't want to add too many doings and things in there that the writer doesn't have in there, because sometimes I can get offended.
Sure.
But like he taught me some tips on how to kind of get like a happy medium in there.
Mm, mm.
So
Yeah, I think there's some writers that would just be like, no, dude. Like Quentin Tarantino
yeah.
apparently is like, don't fucking mess up one word. I took time to write it that way. Why would you try to ad lib something that took me months to write? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and then
And
like
I
actions,
get
like they
that.
may have a drink and you're like, okay, I want to sip this drink. Okay, I didn't have that in the script. Like, sometimes, so you gotta kind of yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. Okay,
Hmm.
so your world for both sides, music, acting, what are we watching for? What are we listening for?
Okay, I just have a song out called Fanned Out. It's the tale of a crazed fan who is destined and determined to meet her celebrity crush, overcoming any and all obstacles along the way. Based on a true story, okay?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I don't know who that might be, but all right.
and then oh, I did a BET special called American Gangster Trap Queens. It's about women who were kind of criminals, millions of dollars worth of stuff was stolen and embezzled. I played a Nigerian woman named oh my god, why can't I think of the name off the top of my head? But it's the episode number 6.
Okay.
Nelly. Her name was Nelly.
Sweet. Sweet.
And yeah, she got sentenced the day that we actually was filming that, so it was kind of crazy.
That is crazy. That's
Hmm.
cool. Well, thank you for taking some time out of your day here and joining us in Vancouver. Where is the best place for people to follow you on social media? Like, where are you most active?
Yeah, Instagram, Rose Got Talents, RoseGotTalents.
There you go.
On all platforms, the same.
Okay, well, hey, that's good branding. Awesome. Well, thank you again for taking the time, and we'll tag you when we're throwing this stuff around.
All right, thank you.